What is up everyone, it's Alex here. This is your second stimulus check and second stimulus package update about a new back to work proposal. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that the $600 federal unemployment compensation benefits would end at the end of July, and this is pretty much set in stone considering the fact that both the Senate and the Republicans especially, and now also the White House Economic Advisor are on the same page on the ending of the $600 federal unemployment compensation on July 31st. The White House Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow said in a latest talk that he does not see that the $600 unemployment benefit would survive the next round of talks. So this is very in coherence with whatever it's being talked by the Republicans, by the White House, and now also the economic advisor of the White House. So we can pretty much say that the $600 unemployment boost is going to end on July 31st. And here's where this new proposal comes into play. Senator Portman proposed to give unemployed Americans who go back to work a $450 boost for going back to work through the end of July, which means that his $450 bonus, as it is proposed right now, would end on July 31st, just like the $600 unemployment boost. To better understand how they imagine this would work, if you would start going back to work on June 1st, you would get the $450 through July 31st. So you would get it for every single week on June and July till July 31st. But at the same time, on this entire period, if you receive the $600 unemployment compensation benefits, then you would give that up because you would go back to work. So according to the proposal, your boost would be pretty much reduced from the $600 that was the unemployment boost to the $450 bonus that you would get on top of your regular wage. So if per week you would make $450 at work, you would receive another $450 as a back to work bonus till July 31st. But as the proposal looks right now, only those who were unemployed and go back to work would receive the bonus, and not also those who were currently employed or that never lost their job during this entire time. The official text of this proposal is not yet out, but when it's going to come out, when it's going to pop out, I will read it for you and break it down, so it's going to be very easy for you to understand it if you watch the video. So you can consider subscribing if you would like to see that video when it comes out. The same economic advisor, Mr. Kudlow, said that the White House administration also considers backing up this idea of a back to work bonus for those who are unemployed. But this seems a little bit unfair because those who were never unemployed during this crisis would not get the bonus, and those who are unemployed maybe for a couple of weeks would get the bonus if they would get back to work. So they would have to structure the proposal in such a way to balance the powers and to balance the benefits that those who are employed and unemployed receive, at least in my opinion. What they also said is that they are looking at a combination between a payroll tax cut on the side of the employees, which would be about 7.5%, with a back to work bonus to incentivize and encourage people to get back to work, because on the $600 federal unemployment compensation, they are actually discouraged to go back to work because according to the data, 60 to 70% of those who receive the $600 federal unemployment compensation are earning more than they were making when they were employed. So of course people are discouraged to get back to work when they can make more staying at home than they would when they would go back to work, which would mean to commute, get food with them, and also spend 40 hours of their life at the workplace. Just consider the following example. Those who stay at home receive the $600 federal unemployment compensation plus whatever the states are giving them in unemployment. We know that the state average is about $200, so if you add the $600 from the federal boost, is going to be around $800 per week. Now let's say that the same person hypothetically goes back to work and earns $1,000 with the go back to work boost. It's going to be a $200 difference per week, which is going to be an $800 difference per month. If you look from this perspective, they would get $800 more per month if they would just go back to work and receive the back to work boost. But considering the fact that they have to commute, that they have to grab some food, maybe they grab lunch, maybe whatever, they get some snacks, and also the fact that they have to spend 40 hours per week there, they might actually choose to stay home, receive the $800 per week, and not do anything basically. Don't deal with commuting, don't deal with getting food with them or packing food or just going to have lunch and have to spend money on lunch. Maybe they just spend $100 or more on commuting and food per week just to go to the job. So just earning an extra $100 per week might not make any sense for those who receive the federal unemployment compensation and also the state unemployment amount. I bet that 90% of you, if you'd have to choose $800 to stay at home and do nothing, or $1,000 to just go back to work, would choose the $800 to stay at home and basically do nothing, because the overall costs might be lower and you might be left with more money than if you would go to work and you would earn $200 more. So they'll have to structure this in a way that will actually encourage people to go back to work and not encourage them to stay at home like it was so far. If the difference between going back to work or staying at home is going to be higher in favor of going back to work, like $300, $400 or more, then yeah, it might make sense for people to go back to work and spend the money with commuting, food, and all that other stuff that they need to get to work. But again, considering the data that 60 to 70% of the people receive more on unemployment than on going back to work, this proposal to give them the boost to go back to work, which is going to overlay over the $600 that they could actually receive if they would be on unemployment, I don't think is going to be much of a motivation for people to go back to work. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts about this proposal and what do you think, what they should do to incentivize people to go back to work. By the way, if you did not yet receive your first stimulus check, go watch the previous video because I gave you some tips of how you might be able to get onto the Get My Payment portal and have your information pulled out by the platform, and also how you might be able to get in touch with a human being at the IRS. So I'm going to link the video in the description down below. If you did not receive your first stimulus check, you can go ahead and watch that out. Maybe it's going to help you. Alright everyone, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to destroy the like button if you enjoyed the video whatsoever. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos and if you want to see more updates like this one. Until next time, take care, have a wonderful day.